Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 10th. This week you have this Flow with the Rhythm card. It says, get lost in rhythm of movement today. You have this Find Your Haven card. It says, there is a place of wonder waiting just for you. So how lovely is that, Gemini? You have the Magician, the Seven of Wands, and the Six of Cups. We're going to have to look and see what the Magician is pointing at here to figure out what he wants in your reading, and he wants you to take a break. You have the Four of Swords. One thing I've noticed in this set of readings for this week, of course we have the eclipse this week, the first eclipse, and, I think that a lot of people have been getting these messages of like needing to get into a space of not forcing something to happen, but more, coming at it from a place of like non-attachment or just allowing something to happen. And so that, that could definitely be a good energy for you, Gemini, to embrace that will probably lead to the most success. Right away, before I forget as well, for whatever reason, I feel like this right here is saying that there's something that you're not looking at just in general in your life. Like, it doesn't have to be a person, right? You have the King of Cups, Ace of Cups, King of Wands. You could say that's a person. It's like maybe you're looking at one person, but you're not looking at this other person over here that's better, would be better for you. But I feel like this is like an opportunity or something where it's like you might have an emotional attachment with that King of Cups to like your business. And it's like maybe the universe is trying to get you to expand or is trying to get you to start something else, And I feel that, the Magician is a card of reinvention. This is why I'm saying this. It seems to me like you could be reinventing yourself at this time or changing. It's not like you're changing who you are, but you could be presenting yourself in a different way. And again, this could be through the work that you do. And I just felt the need to say that at the beginning. So that might only be for one of you, but there you go. There's something better that you're not looking at. You could be so focused on one thing that you're not seeing the forest through the trees, which is really the Ten of Wands. But, that's kind of the energy that I get there. You have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a card of feeling not ready sometimes. He has two different shoes on, or a shoe and a boot. And the story of the Seven of Wands is that he had to rush out of his home to defend his position at the top of the hill here, but he was in such a rush that he put on two different shoes. So it kind of says that maybe he didn't feel ready to defend his position yet. But the Seven of Wands kind of says that there will never be a perfect moment to do anything, and so we just have to kind of work with what we got and go from there. And that's what I feel with the Seven of Wands. I do feel it would be a good time to protect your energy just in general. Right next to it, we have the Magician pointing to the Four of Swords. We have the Seven to the Four of Swords here, and the Four of Swords is kind of like resting, relaxing, recovering. It is also a card of asking the universe for something. He is like hoping and praying to receive a blessing on the Four of Swords. So might be a good time to, protect your energy as well. You have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups can represent like an innocence and nostalgia, can represent thinking about the past. The Six of Cups is probably about your inner child in this reading. I think we all have to look at our desires, the things we want at this time, and then see how we can get them. And also with the Magician, the Magician is about reinvention. It's like sometimes we have certain desires in life that we don't have, and we have to look at our habits, because maybe our habits with the Magician aren't lining up with what we want. Or also, I should say, with the Magician, maybe we're not using the right tool for the job. The Magician says, hey, you can have whatever you want, but you have to look at how you are trying to get something. And I definitely get that message for you here, Gemini, that like it's not so much that you're doing the wrong thing. It's just maybe you're not using the right tool for the job. Everybody has had this card. You have the Magician, you have the Eight of Cups. I can't even make it up. I mean, the Eight of Cups is the only card with an eclipse on it, and we have an eclipse this week on the 13th, so, some of you definitely could be removing one thing so that you can have something better. Definitely, it's a lunar eclipse, and usually we remove things with these lunar eclipses, so you definitely could be walking away from something that no longer serves you. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Six of Wands. This could be attention. It's kind of giving me the feelings like you have capabilities in life, you have skills. Six of Wands would be getting attention for those skills, but with the Seven of Wands, it could say you feel like you're not ready to get attention for your skills. And I feel like that is not true. So if you're thinking about like sharing, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel where you share advice or anything like that, like now is the time. Same thing, like, the Seven of Wands with the Six of Wands it kind of gives me the vibes of underestimating your skills. So if you want to get a raise or a promotion, like maybe you feel like you're not skilled enough, but you have a lot more skills than you think. So, again, I would do those hard things. With the Six of Cups, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Again, resources. I really feel that Six of Cups is talking about something you've always wanted to do with your life, or something you've been hoping to manifest. And the Queen of Pentacles is a card of resourcefulness. She might not necessarily have something she needs. Maybe she needs money to start a business, but she will get started anyway. She is not about necessarily having the thing that you need. She is resourceful. She will find a way, even if she doesn't have what she needs. And I feel that embracing that energy will be very good. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card. It says, lay a solid foundation. You have this koala spirit. It says, spirit has a plan. Yes, definitely a foundational time. One thing I will say about retrograde times is I think retrograde times are a good time to work on foundational activities like learning, right? Or educating yourself about something that you want to build. Also good for, a lot of like astrologers and stuff say it's not a good time to get started on something, but personally, I don't necessarily think that's true. There are so many things I've started during retrogrades that I still do to this day. So I don't know. I don't really follow that rule. And like, has it been a mistake sometimes? Like maybe, sure, you could say that, but at the same time, we learn during a retrograde so much faster. And so Mercury doesn't really go retrograde until almost the end of the month. So that, again, you still have time to get started. But if you're thinking about starting something, being more foundationally focused, like, again, working on those foundational skills. And I think that's another thing that we can do during retrograde. Like maybe we shouldn't get started on a business, but there's nothing that says we can't learn about the skill or develop a skill during that time, right? So there might be some of the, the beginnings of something going on here. You have the King of Swords. I kind of feel like this is your energy showing up here. Like I feel like you are in a powerful position. The King of Swords is about turning knowledge into wisdom, which I feel would be a great activity for you at this time, Gemini. Like learn something and then do it and see what happens. You have the Four of Swords. I feel this is going to be very beneficial for you as well. Just resting, relaxing, recovering, recharging your batteries, taking a break when you need a break. I also think it's a great time to ask for something that you want. He is literally praying for a blessing. There's a person in this stained glass window who is blessing another person. And so I think, just asking for something would be a great, it's a great time for doing that. Again, one thing I will say, with all the energy we have in Pisces, it is an amazing time for manifestation, practicing affirmation, scripting, like whatever it is you want to do. You have the Hangman. A lot of people have had the Hangman. I get this feeling from the Hangman that this eclipse as well could be making people see something, kind of like having it, I wouldn't really call it a breakthrough. I would say it's more of just a new perspective on life or an opportunity that you have. He is hanging upside down. He is seeing an opportunity from a different angle. I always say this is like Gemini's superpower. It's like Gemini has the superpower of being able to see what most people don't see in an opportunity. You see both sides, right? And that allows you to either mix those two things together or come up with a totally unique perspective. And I feel that would be a very good activity for you as well. With the King of Swords, you have the Emperor. A lot of people also seem to be taking control. Now, you have really good cards of like leadership and taking control here with the King of Wands as well. So any opportunities that you want to take control of, I definitely would with that Emperor energy. With the Four of Swords, you have the King of Swords again. This week has been crazy with the repeating cards. So almost every single reading has had at least one card that repeated in the reading. Now, repeating cards are the universe saying I meant what I said. They're basically confirmation from the universe. I really feel the King of Swords is about gathering knowledge and wisdom. It's funny that I said it would be good for you to work on foundational things like learning. Maybe that's it. Maybe you should just be like, if you have an idea, but you don't want to get started during the retrograde, you don't have to get started, but you could just educate yourself on it. You could start learning about whatever it is that you want to get started on and start, practicing it. You don't have to actually commit to the actual, project or idea or business or whatever it is. And so I would do it. With the Hangman, you have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands could be a commitment. We do have a little bit of love here. Four of Wands can represent marriage. But I don't really see that in this reading. I mean, you could absolutely be meeting a person that you would marry, like in the future. Four of Wands is more about freedom. With the Four of Wands, we have to set ourselves free. It is a card of completion. We have to cross through this like finish line right here so that we can celebrate with these people on the other side. And again, it makes perfect sense with the eclipse that you could be kind of wrapping one thing up to move on to something new. Next, in the area messages from your future self, you have this boundaries card and this meant to be card. So what's meant to be will be, and it is a great time for boundaries. So one thing I will say is I think people are overly emotional right now, and so there's like two things. If you feel like you shouldn't say something, don't say it, especially for the rest of like this month. Really, really, if you want to get technical, I would say until like May 2nd. If you feel like you shouldn't have that verbal diarrhea that you're about to have, don't. Number two, I think setting boundaries, having boundaries with your energy, especially because you only have so much. And again, yes, the Mars retrograde is over, but we're in the shadow until May 2nd or 3rd or whatever it is. So, we really should be protecting our energy still. And I would make sure to put those boundaries up. Next, you have the Five of Wands and the King of Cups. Like I said, I feel like this is something that you think you want. Maybe you do. Maybe you do want it. But at the same time, there's something better. So, there's clearly some sort of conflict in an emotional attachment. Like you could be emotionally attached to an idea or to a direction or to a person. But I feel like I got that right at the beginning of the reading that King of Wands is better. It's like, sure, this is good, but I think the King of Wands will be better. And it could be a person, but I really feel it's like an opportunity for most of you. You have the Fool. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith in a new direction. The thing about the Fool is he's learned a lot. He has these tattered sleeves on his cloak, and sometimes I feel those tattered sleeves, the whole point of the Fool is he goes from the Fool all the way through the major arcana to the world, and then he starts all over again as a Fool. So he's always on this journey of the Fool's journey. He's always restarting that cycle, in life. And this is basically what all of us do. We kind of like follow the Fool's journey. So those tattered sleeves kind of say he's been on this journey before. He has those tattered sleeves should give him comfort in some ways because it's basically saying he is, he is doing something he's done before, so he knows what to do. And if you're thinking about taking a leap of faith, you probably know more than you think. And there's something about that in this reading. Like this reading is really screaming to me that you are underestimating yourself or especially if you're like thinking about starting something or if you're, wanting to get that raise or promotion, like I said, or if you're wanting to, create something in your life, I feel that you're underestimating yourself a little bit too much. And, the thing about the Fool is he has to take the risk of looking foolish. People might be saying like, hey, you're a fool for taking that leap of faith. But, people don't know what he knows. So, people might be underestimating you with that card. With the Wheel of Fortune here, this could represent a change in your fortunes. I do feel very luck for you, but the thing about luck for me is that, luck is just preparation. People who are lucky are just more prepared to take advantage of opportunities or whatever. So I think that, putting in, and they also double down on things that are lucky. If you're good at something like a skill and you double down on that skill, then obviously you're going to have more luck. If you are developing a skill and you learn as much as you can, you are increasing your luck. So, the list goes on and on there. And I feel like I really feel the Wheel of Fortune is an action. I always say this. Wheel of Fortune is a good card, but I feel like people make it out to be better than it actually is. Like, it's a good card, but it's an action. And you don't just get the Wheel of Fortune, right? So I would, do those activities. With the King of Cups, you have the King of Pentacles. We have all four kings here. All four kings is the Emperor. So, some of you definitely could be like attracting an Emperor person or a divine counterpart into your life. We have the King and Queen of Pentacles, which is great as well. It could be a very stable connection coming in for you, especially if it's a new person. With the Fool, you have the Nine of Swords. Yes, worry, doubt, all those things. I knew that Fool was talking about something. I said it. I don't remember what I said. I'm losing my mind today. But that Fool was like saying to me, like, no self-doubt, or, don't listen to what other people saying that you can't do something, or other people saying that you shouldn't do something. I feel like they could be causing you to doubt yourself when you shouldn't, because clearly you have the knowledge and wisdom, King of Swords, twice. And, so if people are making you doubt something that you want to do, I wouldn't listen with that Nine of Swords. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Six of Swords. Moving forward, I'm happy to see that. I love forward movement cards with the Wheel of Fortune because we want the Wheel of Fortune to be spinning in the forward direction. That's how we find success with it. So Six of Swords is like moving on to calmer shores, heading towards improvements, creating improvements, leaving things behind, which eclipse, of course, everybody is going to be leaving something behind with this eclipse for sure. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have the Small Spirit. It says, appreciate where you are in your journey instead of wishing it were easier or different. You have this Ultimate Fulfillment card, and it looks like the Ace of Cups. I'll show you in a second. It says, you are now entering a time of peace, happiness, and emotional fulfillment. Love it. I feel like, looks like the Ace of Cups with the sun in it, on that card. So definitely could be an emotionally fulfilling time. You have the Ace of Cups, King of Wands, and Five of Cups in the good stuff. Ace of Cups could be a love offer for sure. Ace of Cups is also about paying attention to things that cause fulfillment in your life. And with the Wheel of Fortune, I would do more of those activities that bring fulfillment into your life. I think one of the most important things everyone can do during 2025 is find at least one thing that causes flow. Flow is something that you can do endlessly. Like these readings, for example, some days, like I start my readings at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? I wake up super early and I get started right away, most days. And, flow is some days I start my readings, I'm a little bit tired. By the end of them, I'm full of energy, right? This is an activity that causes flow for me. And instead of doing, I learned this a long time ago. Instead of doing what everybody was telling me to do with my life, I just started doing more activities that cause flow. And I started hiring people to do the things I don't want to do that don't cause flow. And my life has gotten significantly easier since I started doing that. So the Ace of Cups is all about those types of things. And that's what I would do there. You have the King of Wands. Again, I feel like the King of Wands is something better or something different or just like a better opportunity is the best way I can say it. I also feel, the King of Wands is a little bit of a visionary. Like, sure, this could be a person, but, I feel this could be an opportunity. And the thing about it is, if you're getting a new opportunity at this time, one little clue that you could look out for is I feel like this is something where you can see the future of it better. And that's hard to describe, but it's like sometimes I feel like we just have that inner knowing that something is right for us. And I feel that there could be an opportunity where you just know. You have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups in the good stuff can say that you are being grateful for what you have. Again, the solution of the card is that he has to see these two cups, then he gets this bridge and this castle. So intuitively, I feel like you are being grateful and you are more focused on what's working. And so obviously that's a good thing with the Five of Cups. Here you go. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Really good. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. Ten of Pentacles forms a tree of life, and it's about kind of building, leaving a legacy. A very common card nowadays, probably because of Uranus and Taurus. I believe Uranus and Taurus isn't really encouraging. Uranus and Taurus is like get rich slow. But it's about building a solid foundation, which we kind of talked about with Uranus and Taurus. It wants us to do things for the right reasons, and I think that's what you're doing. With the King of Wands, you have the Hierophant. Blessings. He is blessing these two people in front of him. That symbol right there represents a blessing. And we were talking about blessings with the Four Swords. So again, I think that a lot of you could be creating blessings, or you could be doing things to bring more blessings into your life. Sometimes I feel the Hierophant can also say that you've learned lessons and you're passing the test, right? And so I feel like some of you have learned some lessons, and it's almost like you are passing the test. With the Five of Cups, you have the King of Cups again. So, again, you could be getting over a King of Cups person, for sure, if you have dealt with a King of Cups type person with that card. Or you could be kind of moving on from something that isn't right when there's something that is better. You have this Whale. It says, great worry over nothing. Yeah, Nine of Swords. Worrying is not going to help, right? So I feel like letting go of the worries and the fears is going to make you stronger and help you more. You have this card that says climbing towards success. I definitely see that in this reading. I mean, Ten of Pentacles, Fool to the Ten of Pentacles really would be climbing towards success or creating more success in your life. It's funny, this whole time I've been talking about a raise or promotion as well. So again, if you feel that you deserve a raise or promotion, I would ask. You have this Parrot that says someone will gossip about you and all your secrets. Very Gemini card, right? So Gemini is always dealing with gossip or people talking about him. I don't know. Let him hate, right? I love free attention when people talk about me, so it gets me more attention. I think you should adopt the same mentality. You have this bow card. It says you are highly thought of. Yeah, that's why you probably have jealous haters with the parrot, is because you are highly thought of. People can't do what you can. And Nine of Swords, Fool. You need to listen to yourself. You have the skills necessary to be very successful. I think this happens a lot. Like I've seen this a lot on YouTube with people as well, where it's like, people will grow a YouTube channel. They'll become successful, the haters start, and then they like fall off because they start listening to the haters, right? And I feel this is saying like, don't listen to your haters. You have a seahorse. It says family matters. It is an amazing time for friends and family. All the March readings had something about, spending time with friends and family, or, recharging your batteries with friends and family, which I also think would be great for you to do. But this is a really good reading, Gemini. I like where this is headed. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.